how do I take up thin set? That's a real popular question. I've been running National Machines for about 20 years, and because I've been on job sites with contractors that use our equipment every day, I have picked up tricks and learned how to do things more efficient than just saying it works. One trick I picked up watching some guys do it about 15 years ago is they just got a spray bottle and filled it up with water and pumped it up, and they just sprayed it down on the thin set once they had taken up the tile with a tile shank on the front of it. So I recommend letting the water sit on the thin set for about 30 minutes. If you can let it sit for an hour, it's even better. The purpose of the water is the thin set softens up as the water sits on it, so it makes for a cleaner, faster removal. And thin set is still a tough removal, so normally I tell guys to stay away from the larger 12-inch blades because you need a little bit more head pressure down. And speaking of head pressure, if the thin set's down really well, you can actually slide your side slide weights all the way forward to increase the head pressure. They're kind of in a middle of the road position right now, and we're gonna see how it works. So now I'm gonna make a little bit of noise. I'm gonna turn on the machine, turn my speed up a little bit, and we're gonna see what it does to this thin set. All right, I'm gonna turn on the machine. So if you guys see where I started, I went actually too fast to show you that if you go too fast, you're gonna leave material on the ground. Then I slowed down over here and it took up a lot more removal. So what I would do at this point is if you wanted to go fast and take up the bulk, go ahead and take up a majority of it. And then you guys can see where it's still dry underneath. I'd wet it back down and let it sit for a little while I'm working on other areas. Come back with a nice sharp blade, and it's going to take it right down to the concrete. So if you guys go to the online National Flooring Equipment catalog, or if you happen to have a paper one, we have lots of different blades. Typically for thin set, it's better to use a .094 blade versus a thinner .062 blade. Typically, walk-behinds use .062 because the machines don't have as much head pressure as the riders. The ride-on machines need the heavier .094 blades. But for this application, specifically for taking up thin set, I always have a lot more luck with a stiffer, less flexible blade, so a thicker blade, which is a .094 blade, and also a shorter blade because it is a tough removal. So I've actually made a couple marks. The blades that I would stock for the Gladiator for taking up thin set would be part number 6281. That's a 3x8 by .094. And those can be found under the heavy duty blades section. Or the 6285, which is a 3x6. Or part number 6240, which is a 4x6 by .094. The thinner blades tend to want to kind of skip over the top. The thicker .094 blades really dig in and gets it right down to the substrate. So those are the three blades that I would predominantly use on the Gladiator for taking up thin set. So hopefully this answered all y'all's questions, and you got to see that it actually does work. And I got to teach you the water trick, which is an amazing trick. Hopefully you guys have a lot of success with this, and if you have any questions, just reach out to me. Thank you very much.